strange way. I was sitting at the console of the old Brooker 3T scanner, trying to get the darn thing to work. I think I was kicking it on the tire or something like that. And I became aware of this presence behind me. And I turned around and there was Vince. And I didn't think much of it. I went back to what I was doing. I think I was sitting next to Bernie Garzinski or Scott Dunn. There weren't very many of us in the lab at that point. The next day I was still banging my head against the wall. I think I was trying to get the EPI sequence to work on that crummy scanner. And I turned around and the same presence was behind me. And this went on for like, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks. And finally, after 2 weeks of this, I turned around and I said, "Who are you?" And Vince said, "Well, I'm Vince Smithworth. I'm a student from the physics department and I'm interested in MRI." And I said, "Okay, well, you're welcome to hang around." And so I guess we stayed around for a little while longer, and we finally sat down and I said, "Well, you know, if you're gonna be spending all this time here, you might as well do something useful." We were just trying to get fMRI, this new technology, and Vince said, "Well, I can write computer programs." And I said, "Well, that would be good. We need to analyze this data." So we sat down, and I think Phil Williams was with us at the time, right? And he liked IDL, this programming language that we've been using for a while now. I said, "Well, we need some data to take all this, or we need a program to take all this data off the scanner and turn it into activation maps of brain activity. Think you can do that?" And he said, "Well, I'll see what I can do." So we sat him down in front of an old SGI Indie computer or some such, and Vince he was in intense concentration for a couple of weeks. He wasn't hanging around the scanner anymore, but you know, every once in a while I'd look in and check on him, and I think maybe a month or 6 weeks went by, and I walked over and I said, "So how's it going?" And he showed me something, and I said, "Well, not exactly." He came back a couple weeks later, and he looked up and he said, I know you think I've been wasting my time, but I want to show you what I've been doing." And he showed me this absolutely brilliant piece of code that did everything we wanted it to do. There were a couple of other people around the country trying to do it, to make T-maps and correlation maps and things like that, and Vince had knocked it out in about 6 weeks. And I saw the results on the screen and I got really excited. I said, "You know, there's just one more thing. I need to be able to use it. Can you make a little user interface for it?" And I sketched something out on a piece of paper with a button that said fMRI, another one that said segmentation, another one that said perfusion, and then some arrows and things, which Vince apparently understood, because a couple weeks later we had the lovely interface that you all now know as CHIPS. And you know, Vince plugged away at that for many years, and we've all made a lot of use of it. Vince figured out how to make the Brooker scanner make high-quality EPI images. He solved all the problems there. Then he went on to make it do diffusion tensor imaging. And I think as a result, we were some of the first people to get decent results out of the 3T MR system. And of course, everybody uses those clinically now. But I truly think Vince was a pioneer in that field, and I'm really, I feel very privileged to have worked with him all these years. And I wish him every success at Pittsburgh. I hope you are able to connect with as solid a group of collaborators as we have here. So we'll miss you a lot.
Thanks, Scott. It's been just wonderful hearing from all of you.
So I think the next person I met who's going to be reading today, let's see. Actually, you guys all came about the same time.
No.
Sarah.
David, yeah. There's a year lag.
You two were at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So actually it was a very similar situation to what we had with Sarah Simpson recently, where we had 2 jobs and 3 great candidates. And we weren't sure who fit in which one. And I think, Megan, you might have applied for Sarah's job. Sarah, I'm not sure what job you applied for.
I didn't know what job I applied for. There were like 2 of them open, and I just kind of said, "Here's my resume."
And I think the third top runner was someone that we fondly now refer to as Flip-Flop Sarah. So there was,
she was never in the running.
She had wore
She wore flip-flops to an interview.
you know, I kind of recall that when Megan came for her interview for the coordinator position, I somehow missed it. I don't know if I was away or...
You were submitting a grant, and so you pulled an all-nighter the night before, and so you were... I know. Surprise! And
So I missed you, and
Yeah.
but I saw your resume, and I remember noticing that you had listed on your resume that you had a very active and important leadership role in your sorority.
fraternity.
And fraternity?
Yes.
Okay, I just noticed the Greek letters. I sort of interpolated.
Yeah.
So I talked with Holly about it, and I said, I don't know, what about this sorority sister person? I'm not really sure. It is so well. You know, when she came for her interview, did she have pom-poms, or what was it?
I'm not a sorority person.
And Holly said, okay, well, let's talk to Sarah and flip-flop Sarah, and we'll see what we think. And we mulled over it for a few days, and Holly came into my office and she said, you know, you really need to meet Megan. She's not what you think. She's really organized. She would bring some order to this place, and she'd be great, but the coordinator job's not the right one for her. She should be our administrator. So Holly was right. I think it's worked out fabulously well. You organized us. You managed to somehow comply with all the government regulations that have kept us out of NIH jail. And, you know, the federal government requires that you use 4% minority vendors for a lot of your activities associated with federal contracts. So, Megan managed to find a lot of really solid businesses in the Cincinnati area and went like way beyond that. So when our contracts went in, I think 25% of our supplies and so forth were assigned to really high caliber vendors, which I think now children's uses as well. So Megan's been just wonderful. I think we all really appreciate her organizational skills. She takes really great care of us, and it's going to be extremely hard to replace. We're really going to miss you, Megan. So that brings us to Sarah.
Not from Sarah.
David, I didn't forget about you, but Jennifer she was afraid I might call you Tom.
I don't know if you knew that or not, but Dr. Hahn had you leaving for a while.
Get that next page.
No worries, though.
Well, Sarah, it's been really fabulous working with you, and I think probably Vince and I have gotten to know you really well in terms of running research studies. And your organizational skills are fabulous, but it's been really nice to watch your confidence and competence improve. You came to us as a recent college graduate, and you had some other kinds of work before, but I think nothing in a formal capacity. And you really grew into the job. And I've kind of come to rely completely on you for running the studies, and I think we're also counting on you to pass the baton to the new people who are going to take that responsibility on, because we no longer know how to do research. But I think you're going to make a fabulous position. Your interpersonal skills and organizational skills and study skills. I've been impressed with the fact that you've been able to complete all the prerequisites for medical school and take the courses while also holding down a full-time job. I'm not sure I could do that. So just really been wonderful getting to know you, and I expect great things from you. So best of luck with you heading off to Memphis. I hope we can see you and keep in touch. So David is also going to be leaving us, and Jennifer, do you want to say a few words?
It's funny, you know, we're talking about everybody's interviews, but I know when at that time that I was interviewing, it was actually a really easy decision. Like David was easy decision.
Yes.
Excellent. And
Was he the only one who applied or something?
really just like with background and everything, was far above everybody else. And the only that I remember saying, you know, he's so smart, he's perfectly qualified, you know, but he's kind of shy, and I'm afraid he's not going to be, you know, I'm not sure if he's going to be afraid to talk to people. And so what's really been great is, now that we all know him after a year and a half, you know, we all know exactly how much of a people person you are. You know, really, you know, didn't turn out to be shy at all, and you've done a great job both of keeping everything perfectly organized and keeping me perfectly organized and way hung. And I don't think you knew coming in, like, all the huge variety of things you have to be doing, and now you're weighing rats. 5 minutes after, making a phone call to a family, and, so, and you've adapted to all of that really well. And so I would just, are you really sure you have to go? Because, you could stay for 5 more years. But, so, yeah, and thanks to all of you. We don't want you to go. But.
We were kind of hoping that, putting you and Sarah next to each other would make her a little more shy and you a little less shy. Maybe that's yeah, I concur with Jennifer's comment that we're really sad to see all of you go, but at the same time, we took you on knowing that you would be moving on to other things, and I think we've benefited from your energy levels and your abilities and all the things that you bring to your jobs, and so we have no regrets about bringing you on even for a short period of time. So best of luck to all of you with the next endeavors. There's also, as you know, a get-together next week with the whole IRC, and there will be some gifts and cards and maybe some more speeches. I don't know. This is probably also a good time to mention, I don't know that we really have any new students, but our summer students are back. Becca Savad, if you haven't met her, is here for the 3rd summer from Washington University, and Farina, well, never really left. She's here for her 3rd summer, but also here during the school year, been working toward her senior thesis project. And we also have Allie Essel, who's going to be volunteering in the lab for the summer. And she's probably in a really unique position. I don't know that we've ever had anybody who's been a research subject and then also a researcher. So Allie has been in a couple of research projects. And we've had the opportunity to examine her brain, so we know she's a really good quality individual. I think we're going to make that a standard part of the job interview process for now.
She's actually going to be working with the technologists and not near the language files.
Okay.
Okay?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Is Kevin still here?
Yeah, Kevin.
Oh, there you are. Kevin Nolan is also going to be working as a co-op student just for the summer, or and working with Miliana and Jane and the energy. So, welcome to all of you as well. More food, drinks. I'll turn the music back on.